take back the kitchen. So rather than trying to incorporate all these food guidelines I'm about to give you into your daily ordering and ad hoc purchasing of food, I recommend you establish ahead of time a meal plan and prepare and with the intent to make your own food. So here's an example. This is what I do. I design a meal plan. So I'm taking the guesswork out of what I eat and when I eat. I'm going to have, I've structured my day to start eating at lunch at 12 noon. I'll have a coffee in the morning, but my first food will be at noon. And the last food I'll eat will be before 8 p.m. I'm eating within an 8-hour window, which is not a recommendation of intermittent fasting that I have in Health Score because there's no proof that it extends lifespan. But there's anecdotal evidence that it's helpful, so I follow it. It's not something that you have to do. But I do recommend you determine your 3 meals for the day, unwavering, every day. This will take the guesswork out of what to eat and when to eat. So at noon, I'm going to be having a large salad. For dinner at 6, I'm going to be having sauteed vegetables with a protein. And right afterwards at 7, I'm going to have overnight oats with chopped fruit or berries on top. So you could ask me what's for dinner in 3 weeks from now on a Friday evening, and I won't know exactly, but I can tell you it's going to be 2 servings of vegetables with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, either a plant-based protein or a seafood. So I can be certain that I'm going to get a nutritious meal, but it's going to be, there's enormous variety in the diet. It's just the template gives me a broad outline. What else designing a meal plan does is you eliminate snacking. Now, snacking is responsible for 600 extra calories per day in the American diet. It was basically introduced by the food industry in the 1970s because they had a glut of grains and refined high fructose corn syrup on the market thanks to government federal farm subsidies. And so they had all this cheap food, but the population wasn't growing, so they just had to expand demand without expanding number of consumers. So they just expanded our waistline by convincing us that we needed to have more than 3 meals a day. And they could deliver on this by technology, by processing, and by adding fats, sugar, and salt. So the bottom line is snacking is not required, and it's a source of a lot of excess calories that are an important contributor to the obesity epidemic. But if you don't have a plan, if you're constantly having to think about where your next meal is going to come from, if you don't know that a good meal is waiting for you for dinner, then it's a lot easier to snack and just hedge your bets. I don't know what's going to be at home, so I'm just going to eat something now. And finally, when you have a meal plan, you eliminate emotional eating. So we have all kinds of reasons for eating: boredom, fatigue, happiness, sadness, excitement, ambivalence, hand-to-mouth, activity. Point is that we have a lot of reasons for eating that have nothing to do with the need for food. And if you have specific meals that structure your day, I have lunch at 12, it's a lot easier to, when you experience boredom at 10 a.m. to realize, okay, I'm bored, I need to re-engage in something, but it's not time to eat. Just because I'm bored, not time for me to snack. So you take off the menu, so to speak, the idea of eating as a response to different emotions because you've structured in a meal that you were anticipating and that gives you something to look forward to. So this first step definitely is designing a meal plan structure. We're going to be going through 7 foods to eat, 3 foods to limit. I encourage you to have a template in front of you and figure out, okay, you just said 3 servings of whole grains per day, where am I going to fit that in my 3 meals? How am I going to fit in those whole grains? So maybe I'll do a cup of quinoa on my salad and half a cup of overnight oats as a dessert, or half a cup of overnight oats as breakfast, and then a cup of quinoa for lunch. But the point is that fitting in all these recommendations into an overall simple structure is going to pay enormous dividends.